Okay, this should be better. Sorry about that. Sorry. I'm here. So let me restart. Good morning, Lock Watcher. Good morning, Franco, when you wake up. Good morning, Farm Tech 2 Kim. Good morning, MT. Good morning, JB. Well, that was embarrassing. Professional YouTuber, folks. As I was saying, today, well, everything is a total mess because I had the career fair to prepare for. So went there, showed off some PCBs. The recruiters gave me the impression that they were impressed, but I applied for the positions that I told them I would, and I've gotten no callbacks yet. Stuff happens, sure does. So I don't know if they were full of crap or what, if they're just being nice to me. But yeah, nothing yet, and it's been hasn't been a week yet, but still. Morning MT, yeah, that was on my side. That was on my end. So it's been a week, heard nothing. Been less than a week, heard nothing. I'll give it some more time. It is what it is. If they don't get back to me, they don't get back to me. Also, tragedy struck. My cutting mat, the original one I've been using since day one, I destroyed it. I melted it. It was like wavy and causing issues taking macro shots for thumbnails. So I took my hot plate and flipped it upside down, and then I turned it on, and then when it got to close to 100 C, I turned it off, put weight on it, and then, you know, waited overnight. And when I moved it, it was almost perfect. It had a little bit of a wave. Almost perfect, though. And then the next day, so I did it again, but this time I got distracted and I didn't turn off the hot plate. It went up to 250 C or maybe 350 C and melted the hot plate. Melted my cutting mat, so it is gone. Yeah, you took your hot plate. Yeah, so yeah, I did buy two. The other one is on my other desk. However, I got two more because I saw them in store. And I was like, oh my God, these are like my signature mats. So I bought another pair of them. So that means that today we get a brand spanking new cutting mat. Brand new, never used. There we go. Little warped because it's been standing up for a little while. Brand new, fresh. So there we go. I think the color is more dull though. Doesn't look right. Yeah, it's lighter. The purple is lighter. I don't know if when with age the oils come out of it. So now we have a much lighter purple. Yeah, you can. I've done it. Here, watch your eyeballs. We're going to turn on the lights. Because You know you think you're tough, tough, tough until you turn on the lights. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, it's not the right shade of purple. Whatever. It is what it is. It says right there, I don't know, you can't read it. It says, do not roll, avoid heat, store flat, use both sides. If you guys want to see the old destroyed one, let me know, and maybe tomorrow I'll go get it. It's out. I threw it outside because this whole area smelled like melted plastic. Fire alarm didn't go off. I was able to turn on. I have in my mechanical room that way. I was able to turn on the exhaust fans and let it run. So, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It's just not the same. But yeah, it's fresh. There are no marks on it. What else? We're gonna have to model some stuff in FreeCAD. I don't know if I want to start by continuing to model this, or if I want to start by ESP video. Don't know. Just tell people to change the lighting. There we go. Did you guys enjoy the April Fool's video? Nice little collab with Basement Electronics. I feel bad about that because, first of all, it was his suggestion. He said, you know, let's do this. And I was like, that's fine. I never want to be the big channel that breaks the dream of a smaller channel. You know what I mean? I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. So I'm like, for sure, let's get him. Sorry, I'm messing with my mic a little bit. I'm like, let's get him some subscribers, right? That was my thought. And then we were discussing what kind of video we would make, and I said, just make something stupid, like calculating pi on a pie. And then he sends me this, and I'm like, dude, I thought it was going to be stupid. Like, you can't just, like, make a good video. And then so I discussed it with him. I was like, maybe you should hang on to this video. You know, cut it down a little bit, do some retakes in some parts. And then you got yourself like a 10,000 plus view video. And he's like, no, it's for April Fools. I was like, oh, all right, dude. So he made an actual good video. I made a shit video. I made the wireless wire thing. Morning, Mr. Audie. Is that Bill Audie? So, yeah, so we got that. That's great. I don't feel like doing anything. So I slept a little weird last night. Didn't really sleep that well. So let's start by making scripts. We'll do script writing today. And then maybe we'll do some FreeCAD. Old dirty Yankee. Oh, that's what that means. Just opening open office. I don't know what's going to open, so. Open recent. Put this over here. And then we need another one. And then we need to switch you guys so you can see. So essentially, did I change my lighting? Wow. I was going Gong 707. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so the point of this ESP32 video series, it's really ESP now, is to make, let's go 20, bold underline, we're gonna center that shit. We wanna make a just put 18, let's go 12, goal, make a video series explaining ESP32's ESP Now protocol to everyone. Did I change my lighting? Yes. Banana bread in the oven, very nice. You know what I would really like? Cinnamon bread, cinnamon raisin bread. What's just a regular cinnamon raisin bread? It's like a red bag. There we go, sun-made. Sun-made. Can we see what it looks like? Anyways. The wife likes banana bread with chocolate chips. My wife likes waffles with chocolate chips. And maple syrup. The real stuff. Wish I had some maple trees on my property. All right, so make video series explaining ESP Now protocol to everyone. Should be all encompassing. Include lots of demonstrations. That Sin Raisin Bread is a great toaster item. Yeah. Demonstration, include lots of very well commented code examples. Should take no, what am I trying to say? Should have to make no assumptions on viewer knowledge. Okay, and then we also want have a detailed written article for all steps. We're going to aim maybe between 3 and 5 videos. So this is kind of what I have right now. I gotta have to decide what video 1 includes. Wow, okay, that's not how that works. How do you get out of this? So it's not Shift Tab. How How do I get back to this orientation? What's going on? Okay, that time it worked. Okay, that's weird. All right, so video 1. Video 1. Video 2. Video 3. Video 4. Video 5. We're just going to plan what we're doing here. And these can be 18 bold. Okay, so video 1. Essentially, we're going to introduce the basics and walk through how to set up the system. IDE, ESP-32 support, MAC address, extraction. But do we go as far as talking about data types? Probably. Yeah. Data types. I think that's what we're going to do. And then video 2, we're going to talk about the struct. What else? The need for organizing data. So does a video need to be just on the struct? This is a good question. How complicated is the struct? It's not that complicated. This is a 5-minute video on structs. The only problem with C++ is you can't do a string. It's a string array. Yeah, character arrays. Just use a vector. I never know if you're trolling me. I am what are the new lights I'm using? Am I still showing the bench? No. I don't know if you're being serious. There's no new lights. All right. Can you explain why, how, and why to use car arrays in C++ instead of how strings work in Python. Strings work in Python. Make no assumptions of my previous knowledge. Moving from Python to C++ completely changes. Yep. If Python, you're talking to a highly helpful assistant, handles messy details behind the scenes. STD string for everything except fixed strings. But if you're making a struct for your ESP now, often called C strings, we first need to look at Python is hiding from you. In Python, you write oh, by the way, boot.dev. This is today, right? Oh, I guess you can't see it, but I have gone through. For Arduino, just use string. Hang on. Yesterday, I finished the object-oriented programming course. So this one, I finished it on January 11th. However, I used their internal AI a lot because their explanations sucked donkey butts. I erased all my progress and I restarted everything. And yesterday I finished it and I didn't use their AI at all. So I'm getting it. I had to go away and do my own projects and come back to it, but now I'm done this. So now I am in the functional programming. So chipping back away through it. All right, Python, when you write my word equals hello, yes, Python does a massive amount of invisible work, finds available memory, tracks how long the word is. If you add to the string, Python automatically finds a bigger piece of memory, copies the old word over, adds a new part, and cleans up old memory. You've been practicing your instrument. Is today basically a coding stream? So first of all, congrats on practicing your instrument. It's hard for me to get enough discipline to do so. Today is a planning stream. We're planning the ESP Now video, and we might do a little bit of FreeCAD. So real talk. Here, let me switch to the other camera. Real talk here. I need to focus back up my channel into things that I enjoy putting out. This has been the plan since January 1st. I need to put out real, tangible, important tutorial type contents because that is what I love the most. That is what long-term brings in views, and that's what in long-term could score me job opportunities, which at the moment I kind of need. So although it's not the fastest path to success, It's something I can be very proud of. So the goal is we are making PCBWay videos to pay the bills, and we are making tutorial videos. Problem is, tutorial videos take a shit ton of commitment, like a lot. Like you have, like it takes forever to write them, film them, edit them, put them out. So I'm gonna be dedicated some of the streams to working on that stuff. So that is what we're doing today. So we are learning stuff well enough to teach them back. So yeah, what instrument are you playing? MT, your guitar? Because that's MT plays guitar. Memory is a grid. Does not assume you want it to handle memory for you, because doing so takes extra processing. C++ can be direct access, which you can think of as a giant grid of empty slots. An array is simply a reserved row of these slots. Character array, each slot is exactly the right size to hold the character. Because is it car or char? Start a poll. How is this pronounced? There you go. Answer the poll, folks. Some bar and odd chords right now. What is the alternative of array in C++? Anant, I'm not following what you're asking. We are already there. Most of this in the chat could be committed as well. I'm not sure what you're saying either, Lockwatcher. And MT working on bar chords, bar and odd chords right now. I have big troubles with bar chords, but here's what I bought. I tend to sit at my desk and work a lot, so I bought these. So I've got my grip trainers. So this one's got a helpful counter on it. I'll do 100 reps. I'll do 50 on each hand. And then basically I have it, sadly, it's almost maxed out, as you can see. Like the more you twist this way, the stronger it gets. So this is a new addition. So right now the back of my hand is very sore from doing this. And then I have this one, which is an individual finger trainer. So, you know, give it some squeezes. So I've got these. I'm trying to strengthen my my grip, especially on the left hand, so that I can do chords easier, press down harder, and then you add the precision onto that, and then you get good sounding music. Here's hoping. So this is I'm sitting at my desk. This is what I'm doing. Type thing. All right, how do you declare arrays in Python? Super simple. Python. So hold on a sec. What's the built-in Python? The built-in Python interpreter, I think it's repr. Whatever. Here's Thani. My God, this is I want the shell. How do you open the the terminal, I guess? Anyways, so what you're asking, God damn it, what you're asking in Python, you would just write like, actually you don't do it. Yes, you do. My string equals, this is a string. So this is a string, but then you also have like a list, which also can be considered an array. So you got my list equals, and then you use these flat brackets for the list, and then you'll say 0, and then you have a comma, 1, comma, 2, so essentially what you have here is, this is a list where you've got a string in the first index, so index 0, then you've got an integer in index 1, and then you've got a float in index 3, and in index 4 you have a list, but in that list on index 0 you've got a string, 1 you've got an integer, and 2 you've got a float. So this is a list, this is a string. So I don't know, there's not really like an array per se in Python, but like C would treat this as a character array, essentially. Did I get that right? I have no idea how to open the terminal. Is it system shell? No. I have no idea. You would think it would be like somewhere, no backend. Tools. My list dots append you. Okay, no, it's not running it live. Oh, run current script. Run. There's no, I don't, shell, stack, object inspector, notes, heap, files, exception, assistant. I don't know. How do you open the, I don't know, repper in Connie? string representation of variables. View shell. View shell. Okay, it's here. Okay, so then if you go print my list, and then you go my list dot append you, and then you go print my list again, then you run this. Yes, so there we go, it's been appended. Okay, so the shell is what I wanted. Good. Okay, so because a character array, a char array, is just a raw block of memory, C++ does not automatically know how long your word is. No problem, Annette. Sorry it took so long to get through it. If you reserve 10 slots of memory but only put the word hi inside, C++ needs a way to know where the word stops and the empty space begins. It does this using a special invisible character called a null terminator, written as, is that //0. If you want a 5-letter word, hello, you actually, interesting point of a string in Python, my string equals an int asked a question. Okay, and then you go print my string and then index 7, just any index. Yes, it prints an S because the S is in 7th position. 1, 2, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's the S right there. So the string is indeed, can I zoom this in? Zoom, increase font size, Control++. Apparently not. Increase font size, Control+. It's not doing it. Increase font size, view, increase font size, view, increase font size, increase font size. View, increase font. Maybe if I stop the program, then I go Control+. Nope, that doesn't work. Maybe if I put that here. Nope, maybe if I put it over here. Nope, maybe if I put it over here. Nope. It's not working. But anyways, point is, strings are technically arrays because you can grab the index. I don't know if you can do a for loop for letter in my string. Oh, that was a mistake. Print letter. I don't know if you can do this. Well, sorry. My bad, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, you can. You can. Ah, okay. I did not know you could do that. So, when you have a list, when you have a list, you use kind of this format. So let's say my list equals 1, 42, 67, 69, 420, oops, 420, 0. So you can use for whatever you want, like for X in my list, and then you can access the individual parts. So if I go run, so there's all the individual parts. So you can do things to it, like you can go X equals, or plus equals 1. Let's see if that works. No. Okay, so you can't append a string. Here, I'll put a 0 here, make it simpler. So X plus equals 1, and then you run this. So you can use all the individual things. It will loop through and use this one, then 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 this one. So as you can see, everything here is plus 1. But it turns out you can do this for letter, here we go, for Y in my string. And then, oops, and then you go Y plus equals, let's see if I can do this. Since they're strings, I should be able to get them, and then print Y. If I run this, yeah. So there we go. So you can actually use all of your, if I increase font size, increase font size so you guys can see it better. So that also means that you can do stuff like this. If Y doesn't equal a space, then there, and then it'll print the Y. And if we run, we can remove this, don't need this anymore. And there we go. So now we only have the letters shown, and we can also go else Y, actually I should just do it down here, Y plus equals space not letter. And then if we run this, there we go. Now our spaces are not letters. I have actually been learning quite a bit, Locke. I didn't know you could loop through a string, but but what happens was I thought since you can grab the index, it might be able to work, but it does. So yeah, there we go. Little interesting stuff. If you want to store the 5-letter word hello, you actually need an array of 6 slots. So HELLO, and then the null terminator. When C++ reads this array, reads letter by letter until it hits the whatever, and then it stops. If you forget the null terminator, C++ will keep reading adjacent memory slots, outputting absolute garbage until it accidentally crashes into a null terminator somewhere in your computer's RAM. In the myString declaration, divide the string value in 2 lines and print it. Okay. Challenge accepted, Anant. All right, so if we go, length equals len my string. Oh, there's a bringing back your days of learning machine code. I want to learn machine code. I feel like my brain works well with that. Okay, so length equals len my string, and then there is a way to geeks for geeks split string. It's the split, and the syntax is split on there. No, I want to split on index. Specific delimiter, this can be easily done with the split method. Okay, you know what? Screw this. I'll just do it the long way. Okay, so for I in my string, so for I in my string, if I is smaller or equal to int len int length divided by 2, okay, let's go first half, and then equals like that, second half equals like that. So if the index is smaller or equal to, this should make sure that this is an integer number. Then first half plus equals I, else, oops, always forget my comma or my colon, second half plus equals I, and then down here print, let's do an F string, the first half is like this, first half, and then print, do another F string here, F, the second half is second half. Let's see if that works. Syntax error, oops. And go. Type error not supported between instances of string. Oh, for I. Wait. Python string W3 school. Oh, there's a slice. String methods. Centered string. Count, encode, and switch, find, index, ASCII is lower, join, lower, strip, make trans, interesting. Partition, replace, or find our index. Nope. Our just, our strip, split. Starts with strip, swap case, title, translated string, upper into lower, z-fill, I don't know what a centered string is. I want to step through format strings, F strings, placeholders, modifiers. Okay, let's treat it as a list. Let's treat it as a list. So if I go Python lists, indexing loop lists. So for I in range, oh, it's range. Damn it. For I in range. That's what I'm missing. For I in range, give me a second. Give me a second. Len this list. And then you've got len my string. Okay, and now we need to first half plus, okay, and then it's my string index of I, and then this is my string index of I. This should work. Nope. Invalid syntax. For I in range, for I in range, land this list, print. That should be the correct syntax. So line 7, it's having a problem here. For I in range,
Python doesn't know how to read your program. Small, the original error message shows where it gave up, but the actual mistake can happen before that. Okay, thanks. Can I put the assistant pane elsewhere? I'll just like zap it over there. Okay, you know what? I'm doing this way more complicated than I need to do this. So for a letter in let's go index equals 0. For letter in my string, and then if index is smaller, what is the modulo syntax? Data types, operators. Modulus. Floor division, that's what I actually want. If index smaller or equal to length, floor division 2, first half plus equals letter else second half plus equals letter, and then index plus equals 1. So let's try that. String length is not defined. Oh, I have my dyslexia. There we go. Oops. Wrong sign. Smaller. Run script. There we go. Range is not closed in syntax. Oh well, it's gone now. So here's your answer. An ant asked, and then a question. There's your first half. There's your second half. The characters are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 on the first one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 on the second. There you go. How's it going, Franco? There we go. String. I know now. I know there's a way to do it without having to increment the index. There's actually a way. If you go, lists. Here, for loops. Looping through a string. Oh, look, right there. For X in banana. However, there's a way where you can go through with the index and the... Wait, there are arrays? Oh. Yeah, so lists. So anyways, there is a way to step through both at the same time. Iterators. There, lists, access list items, loop lists. So you can loop through the index, use a while loop, looping using list comprehension. Shorthand for loop, they'll print all items. Yeah, but there's a way to loop through both. We can ask AI. What is the Pythonic way to loop through both a lists items and index at the same time? Jesus Christ. Cannot type. Yeah, okay, there it is. For index value, I don't know what the enumerate is. But yeah, if you use both, so let's try it that way. For letter value in my string, so let's remove index. Let's remove this. Let's see if it still works. If value, let's see if it still works. No. String line 7. Not enough values to unpack. Expected 2, got 1. Yeah, so you can't do this through a string, I guess. This still works? Yeah. So what happened earlier, Franco? You said you washed your hair, now you feel sick. Hopefully you're feeling better. All right, how to use character arrays in C++. Here's how you create, interact with them in code. Creating the array, have to declare the type of data, character, the name of the variable, and the maximum number of slots. Okay, so you essentially have to make like a list. Also let C++ count the slots for you based on the starting word. Yeah. Modifying the array. Unlike Python strings, which cannot be changed once created. What? Python strings are not immutable? Nice, banana bread out of the oven. Strictly immutable. Oh. I see. C++ character arrays can be altered letter by letter. You can access the index number. Okay. Hardware embedded systems. Modern C++ developers rarely use them. std string, which acts very similar to Python strings, handles memory resizing and tracking lengths automatically behind the scenes, keeping the syntax safe. Okay, if I am trying to build a struct for my ESP now. Would I, in the Arduino E, would I use std string? It feels alien compared to all other data types. Just that your health is shot, you overexert yourself, you end up feeling really ill. Oh, that sucks. I kind of feel what you mean, because my back is like that, where my back gets very fragile at times. STD string feels alien in this context because it's for hardware level communication. It is. You should absolutely not use STD string inside of struct meant for ESP now. You must use a fixed size character array. Okay, so don't use std string. Fixed sized char arrays. You should design your ESP now struct. Okay, but what happens if you set aside, let's say, message 32, and you send a message with only 3 characters, like yes. What then? You send a 32-byte array containing only yes, equal plus the magically you're still sending 30. However, the SP knows exactly where the meaningful data ends because of the terminator. ESP now is a block protocol. When you send the function, you usually pass the size of the entire struct. Because you used size of my data, the radio sends all 32 bytes of the array, doesn't care what's inside. This seems like a shit implementation. No offense. So basically, my thought is it's going to be very difficult to explain to a beginner how the struct works, because you kind of have to plan for your biggest message and work backwards. Does using the Arduino IDE change anything about this? string with capital S. So wrapper makes C++ feel like Python. String, my string, yes, allows you to use a plus to join strings, easy to use. But you don't use, okay, yeah, you don't use it for ESP now because that uses the STD string. Oh boy, that's a pain in the butt. Protocol buffers would shrink your data down before sending, but even those systems eventually turn your text into raw. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, looks like vote in the poll, folks, because Char is ahead, but Car is behind. Having no idea is in last place, so make sure to vote in the poll. So essentially what I'm getting at is, okay, so I am trying to teach total beginners how to use ESP now, and there really is no abstracting using a character array here. So how would I explain it to someone with who doesn't want to learn the basics of coding? They just have a project in mind that needs a string transferred from one place to another. So this is my big problem, is reaching the beginners. No, not the suitcase. Oh my God. That's not it. Oh my God. This is becoming complicated. How's it going, Jackie? We'll have to tackle this problem head on, but this is really like teaching a non-mechanical person to rebuild an engine by just following a template. This isn't for the faint of heart. Did anyone ever make a library to what do you call this again? To abstract it out a bit. Maybe I can make a library. going to build a library for them, use templates. That's not easier. That's not easier. Thanks anyway. Okay, so anyways, for now, we have... so video 2 will have to handle the struct. This will take a long time. So let's MAC address. Yeah. Creation of the struct. No, fuck off. When I say struct, I mean struct. How do you tell it to leave me alone with the autocorrect? Just bought a die file machine. Very nice. A die filer is very cool. Creation of the struct. Long explanation on why strings are the suck. Perhaps have a few integers equal strings. For die filers, it's this basically. It's like a power filer. Basically lets you file stuff automatically. Very cool system. It's a cool little machine. Files metal parts like brass, clock gears, and typewriter parts. Oh, so you have a very small die filer. I need to hit the washroom and re-up my coffee. So let me put one of my Vigeos. Let's do 5 popular. Man, people got so mad at this one. Huh. 17,000 views on the M5 paper. Some of these videos got a lot of views. I'm surprised. Hey everybody, and welcome back. I have a huge project which is nearing completion. The video should be out 2 weeks or so if everything goes well after you're seeing this video. If you want early access to it, you're going to have to join Patreon, but that's another story. So I have these brushless motors. These are now discontinued, so don't bother looking for them on Hobby King, but they're NTM prop drive 2826S 1200 kV.
And I spec'd these motors for these 10-inch propellers years ago when I bought them. So this motor is perfectly capable of running this 10-inch propeller. But because of limitations on the bed size of my 3D printer, and because I wasn't paying very close attention when I made the CAD model, the design I made does not fit a 10-inch propeller. The maximum size I could fit is about a 6-inch propeller, so this size. But this 6-inch propeller will give us far less thrust than this 10-inch propeller. So the solution is to add blades, correct? Well, it's not that simple. To explain, I'm going to have to get a little technical, but if you don't want to see that, just skip down in the chapters below. So how do motors work? Well, this one is a brushless motor. It's a little bit more complex, but the basics are the same. You apply a voltage to the windings inside of this motor, and it creates a magnetic field. That magnetic field both attracts and repels different poles of magnets installed inside the motor. One part of the motor stays still, which is the stator, and the other one rotates, which is the rotor. So this one here has a rating of 1000 kV. kV means this one will do 1000 RPM for every volt you apply to it. So if you apply 10 volts onto this motor, it'll do 10,000 RPM, but this is at zero load. What happens is the magnetic fields created by the electromagnet in here will push and pull on the magnets on the inside, making the rotor spin. That can go up to infinity in theory, but the spinning and the fact that there's magnets inside with the electromagnetic field will cause back EMF, which is an electromagnetic field which opposes the one that we want, the one that we create on purpose. When those two sort of balance out, that's when your motor reaches its max RPM, which is a theoretical 1000 per volt for this specific motor. Let's keep that in mind as we go on. So the voltage maximum that you can apply to this motor is 15 volts, and that's a factor on the insulation of the magnet wire inside. So the magnet wire is just copper wire, but it's coated with a varnish. The thickness of that varnish dictates its insulation qualities, and anything over 15 volts in this specific motor risks breaking down the insulation qualities of that varnish and shorting the winding to its neighbor. And if that happens, you lose efficiency. The current maximum on this one is 15 amps, and that's a function of how thick, how wide the diameter of that magnet wire is. The thicker the magnet wire, the more current you can put in. Well, you probably are thinking, why don't they just use really thick insulation, really thick wires? Well, then you won't be able to wind it around as many times, and that'll weaken your magnetic field. So this whole thing is just, a balancing act. These two figures, the voltage max and the current max, those are just theoretical maximums based on the wire that they used to make these motors. This power max of 235 watts on this motor, don't forget about 750 watts to a horsepower, so something like a third of a horsepower in this little guy. That's the important part. That's how much total heat we can generate on the inside of here without melting anything. So that's the amount of work this thing can do. And that brings us to our propellers. You see, in principle, the wider your propeller, the bigger the diameter of the propeller, the lower the RPM of the motor. That's design RPM, not forcing it because it's working so hard. Makes it the most efficient. You see, a propeller disturbs the air when it runs through it. And the cleaner, the least disturbed the air that the propeller has access to, is the more efficiency it will have. So a two-blade, really wide diameter, and really shallow pitch propeller will be the most efficient. But in the real world, that's just not always possible. So I'd spec these propellers 10-inch diameter by 45.
I'm back. All right. Making square carriage bolt holes in metal. You have a punch, but you don't like the curl on the edges when it stamps. Yep, yep, yep. All right. So back to this and this. Okay, so let's start with the script here. All right, so we need part 1, intro. Oh, stop. Freaking. This thing is horrible for that. Okay, so ESP-32s are often used by makers to make projects that connect either to local Wi-Fi or to their phones via Bluetooth. They are extremely well suited for this. They are cheap, readily available, and extremely powerful for their little footprint. Okay, sometimes you need to communicate with another ESP-32 and you aren't in range of a Wi-Fi access point. Wait, why wouldn't you use Bluetooth? Why use ESP now over Bluetooth for ESP to ESP communications? Bluetooth needs to scan, pair, establish a GAT, lol, connection that can take several seconds. Okay. This one. Access point and Bluetooth doesn't quite have the range or power. The range, power, efficiency, or speed that you would want. This is where ESP now shines. Okay, so go back to the plan. ESP now is a protocol built into, Jesus Christ, built into every, let's just fact check that. Is ESP now built into every ESP32 before I put my foot in my mouth? Yes. Oh no, I'm sorry. I apologize for the lack of coffee stirring. This and this. Into every ESP32, which allows for lightning fast communications with very few downsides. All right, so what do we like about the ESP now? It doesn't require a handshake, so it can just transmit without caring about whether or not other devices can hear it. Should make better holes, but won't the edges of the holes be covered by the carriage bolts? Well, I kind of see what she means, though. Like, the rounded edges, the curled edges can affect your major dimensions as well. But also, it just makes for a more positive fit if you can file it in. Doesn't require a handshake, so you just transmit without caring about whether or not other devices can hear it. It is multi-directional. So it can be two-way comms, or it can be 1 to 3 device to 3 devices, or 3 to 1. Etc. It has a reasonably good range, a few hundred meters in clear line of sight, needs no external hardware aside from what is already included on the boards. What is the range differences between LR and standard? Okay. But certain ESP32s can activate a long range mode and reach over a kilometer in good LOS. That's good. What else do we like about ESP32? Extremely fast, meaning the board can go from sleep to transmitting and back to sleep in under 50 milliseconds. We'll go deep sleep to transmitting and back to deep sleep. 50 milliseconds. I think that's good. It's for fitting parts primarily, yeah. Like essentially, if you really wanted to, you could use your punch slightly undersized and then file it into its correct position. Okay, so let's just separate these so I can similar to walkie-talkies, nothing external, 100 meters. Okay. So intro. We can also, this can be part 2. ESP now intro. Then we can actually have a quick part 1. Part 1, an intro. Good morning, Jack in the shop. We are working on a video series. We are working on ESP Now, which is a protocol to do wireless communications between ESPs. Mainly because I am tired this morning. So this is ESP Now functioning. So they are. Why does this say 1? Oh, this is C61. Okay. Anyways, so this is ESP Now functioning between these two. They communicate. It works. However, I'm making a full-on tutorial, and the goal is to get anybody in order to get anybody ready to use ESP Now. Trying to sort of work on high quality tutorials. So this, you know what, I'll just show you guys. So this is a brand new cutting mat because I melted my other one trying to straighten it. Let me bring you my other one, but if it stinks too much, I'll have to throw it back outside. So here I go. Opening the back door. It's been raining. Oh, come on. Okay, don't know if you guys are ready for this.
This has been sitting outside for a few days. Here. So this is my cutting mat. Here's the, ouch, ouch. Just like freaking scratch myself. So this is the back side of it, because I had laid my hot plate on it upside down in order to, so basically I turn on the hot plate, let it get to 100, and then turn it off, and then put weight on it, and then when I took it off the next day, it was mostly flat. So I went to do another round, but I got distracted, and it got up to its full like 350 degrees and melted the mat. So here, I'm gonna peel it off now for the first time. It's, oh my God. So I'm kind of worried. Oh, my poor cutting mat. So that's it polymerized. Okay, the hot plate didn't fare too poorly. That's not too bad. I can clean that all off. But yeah, my poor cutting mat. It's flat. I mean, it worked. Such a shame. You can see all the knife cuts now, because they all like shrunk or whatever. So here, that's the horror show. So yeah, it melted. I might end up like cutting around this and making like little mats out of it. So yeah, that's my problem. I don't think the scale is accurate anymore. So yeah, I had to exhaust all of the air out of my shop for like 2 days. And I also had an air purifier running. So that is my cutting mat. Now the question is, how do you cut a cutting mat? I don't know. So yeah, and now this has to be cleaned before it can be used again. So all this is because I was getting very distracted because I was preparing to go to a job fair, which I have gone to now. This isn't too bad. It's coming off. So I actually applied to quite a few jobs in tech. We have a tech sector in Ottawa. One of the most exciting ones that I applied to was a job at QNX, which is it's a subsidiary of BlackBerry. But we'll see if they, I mean, if they contact me back, like, who knows. I really want a job in tech, but it is what it is. Is this a kitchen plate or more? No, it's a soldering hot plate. It's for reflow soldering. You could use it in the kitchen, yeah. For sure. By the way, I bought this little vacuum on AliExpress, and it is shit. It is like very bad quality. But what it's teaching me is that I really want a little handheld vacuum. I would never ever recommend this one because the dust canister doesn't like latch onto it well. It was only like, I think it was $8 Canadian or something like that. But the usefulness of a little handheld vacuum just cannot be overstated. See if I shim it up a little bit, maybe it'll be better. As long as you keep the cutting mat off it, yeah. So yeah, really would love a job in tech. I mean, I've been learning coding quite a bit. I'm not ready to work as a software dev. I'm like not at that point yet, but I will get there. I mean, it's just a matter of time. There's a couple of companies that need assembly, like PCB, PCB soldering and stuff like that, and I applied there. But I told them, like, I am going to be in it for the long run. Cut the old map up for epoxy mixing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the old mat is not, it's not dying. Like, it still functions. I don't know how to cut it. Like, how do you cut something that is meant to be cut? Right? Like, how is that supposed to work? Like, its whole job is resisting getting cut. I might end up cutting it to pieces and selling chunks of it to supporters. Shears, maybe. You know what? Like, I might sell little 1" by 1" pieces, because the divisions on the cutting mat go down to like 1". And see if anybody wants them. I mean, if nobody wants them, nobody wants them, but it'd be a nice way to have some simple electronics lore in your home. Maybe they could be bigger than that, like I don't know. Looking for a cloth. Looking for a cloth. That's a shop cloth. Does it have metal shavings on it? No. Good. Yeah, I can make coasters out of it. Coasters would have to be square though. I'm not cutting ain't cutting no circles. This might smell poorly for a little bit. This is not a non-shedding. These are like mechanics rags. Definitely shedded like crazy. Seems like there's still some stuff I'd have to scrape off, but that's neither here nor there. Gonna go with like a finer edge, like even this. Just the edges of a 3D print.
Yeah, I see round coasters more often than I see square ones, to be honest. Anyways, they should be usable at some point. Stargate coasters are around. So yeah, that was my little adventure, and that's why I have a brand new cutting mat. Oh, thanks to the Canadian government, considering it's a business expense. All right, so this video series and the much more descriptive articles online, links in the description, are intended to be all the information could possibly need. Here, where did you hear that, Lockwatcher? I'm curious because I heard of that from a source, and I'm curious if we heard it from the same place. Intended. Oh, well, we could tell that pretty easily. Here, let's go. So here is the Amazon.co.uk coaster. So your first 5 results are circular. Then result number 6 is square, then circular, then a weird shape, then square, then square, then circular, circular, square, square, circular. So I would say maybe it's your area. A news blip. Okay. The podcast I usually listen to, Pizza Hut Canada. The podcast I usually listen to, they mentioned it. All right, so here we go. This is for delivery at the Prime Minister's house, or around the Prime Minister's house. Hot dog stuffed crust. Limited time only. Pizza. Go. There's not a lot of images there. How's it going, Gerald? Happy Easter, everyone. I forgot. Amazon is an American company. I mean, I don't know what you want. Amazon tailors stuff that sells. They sell Chinese products, though. I'll tell you what, I would order it. I would order it to check it out. I tend to order from Pizza in Canada if I want a cheap pizza, and then a nice white box Lebanese pizza if I'm going for a good quality one. Okay. We got sidetracked. Plan. This one. Need to use ESP now for your projects. No previous experience required. I did forget that it was Easter, so happy Easter, everyone. That means that my wife is going to be very happy when Easter candy goes on sale in a couple days. I think most places will be closed Monday, but starting Tuesday, we're going to get discount chocolate. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now we need to set up part 3, setting up Arduino IDE and ESP32 support. Underline the shit. The Skittles jelly beans. I think my wife is more into chocolate than Skittles jelly beans. I mean, at some point she'll eat anything that's sweet, but she prefers chocolate. I think Lindt is some of her favorite chocolate. Don't know if you get these in the US. This is totally my wife picking out her chocolates. And these things too, these bars. If I were filthy rich, I would keep her fed with Lindt chocolate. Don't Skittles contain arsenic? I don't think so. Do Skittles contain arsenic? No. Titanium dioxide, which is a whitening agent. Yep. In 2022, a lawsuit was filed claiming that Skittles were unfit for human consumption because of titanium dioxide. The European Food Safety Authority banned titanium dioxide in a food additive. FDA in the US and Health Canada consider it safe in regulated amounts limited to 1% of the weight. You love Lindt in Lindor? Me too. What is the science on the titanium dioxide? Used to have a chocolate factory around here, closed down years ago. Yeah, same thing here. We had the Smiths Falls chocolate factory. Concern arises from the nanoparticle fraction. Particles so small it can penetrate blah 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 blah. Could not rule out genotoxicity. Skittles jelly beans do have bug spit in them. Yeah, shellac. I thought that was shells. I thought shellac is bug shells. So the EU banned it because they couldn't rule it out, that it might be a problem. And Health Canada and the FDA said that they were using non-food grade titanium dioxide. So I think you're fine eating Skittles. Okay, shellac is a bug secretion. There is something using bug shells though. Honestly, it doesn't freaking bother me. When you see how many bugs are in the crops that we harvest, and then we grind them up to make wheat and stuff like that, make flour, sorry, and stuff like that, it really doesn't bother me. Just same way as people complain that like hot dogs are like weird pig parts. I don't care. I honestly don't care. I could not care. Okay, you need to underline. Before setting off on this journey, you will need to download and install the Arduino IDE from the official website. And follow the instructions for your specific operating system. I'm hoping that Arduino has good instructions. Arduino.cc. A story for you about Smith Falls. I'll try to make it short. You were on the train from Toronto to Montreal. You fell asleep and the train broke down in Smith Falls. Okay. Not that far from Ottawa, by the way, for those of you listening. By the way, did we get the price of this? No price. All right, let's go back to Arduino.cc. Wow, there's not really products. Arduino IDE. Okay. Well-made hot dogs. Did a site renovation on a butcher shop. Oh, that's not a butcher shop. That's a slaughterhouse. Saw how they made high-quality dogs, beef and pork trimmings. So it's just download and install. When you woke up hearing spitballs, it was snowing and it was confusing for a brief groggy moment. Okay, I'm standing by with bated breath, Gerald. Okay. Once it is installed, you need to add ESP32 support. I think I missed the point of your story, Gerald. Like you were dreaming it was spitballs and then you woke up like and it felt weird. I thought we were not at the punchline yet, so I wasn't like mentally ready. I honestly want to do a train ride from Ottawa to Vancouver, but it's like so long and expensive. Add ESP-32 support. To Arduino IDE. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So file, preferences, paste the official JSON. The additional board manager. Comma, separate your fields. And then no, it's fine. It went over my head completely. Then open the boards manager. Search for ESP-32 and click install. This process will then allow you to select your board from the drop-down menu. Should probably do some board sourcing. Part 4. Sourcing boards. There are literally hundreds of boards available. You just need to find a board, the board that suits your project. Meaning it has the right amount of pins, it has the right form factor, and it has enough processing power for your needs. Without knowing too much, anything at all about your specific project, here are my general recommendations. The small and mighty options. So let's go take a look at what I have for the small and mighty options. Let's move this to the side. Oh, Jesus.
My back is still a little bit sketchy. My brand new mat is full of my old mat. All right, so these are my RPs. That's not what I want. Okay, so what do I recommend? So the Super Mini form factors. So you've got like the S3 0, the S3, there's a C3 Super Mini. What's this? S3 Super Mini. So what do I recommend? The Super Minis or the Zero? Probably that's a Zero, that's a Super Mini. So these two are Super Minis. And this one's a Zero. Can't really go wrong with any of them, right? Do you like the equivalent sized blower that looks like your mini vac? Yes. I actually used that very, very recently because I just put a new GPU in my wife's computer. So those of you who use canned air, I would recommend one of these instead. They are so powerful, it is insane. They have a magnetic nozzle, like so. I even brought this camping, and I used it because all the wood we had was punky, like kind of like rotten, and I used it to blow the campfire, and so that the embers would go deep inside the wood and continue to smolder. So I recommend this to everyone. They're not very expensive. Okay, so small but mighty. I'm gonna go and recommend the Zhao and the Super Mini and the Zeros. The Zhaos, the Super Minis, and the Zeros. Small but mighty options. If you need something small but powerful, you can never go wrong with any of the Zero, Super Mini, or Zhao boards. For the most part, if you need low power, like low, if you need a lot of computing power, you would get the S3 variants. And if you want a smaller, cheaper
option, the C3 is there for you. And so you just pick your poison. In my stash, I have plenty of both. You want a small blower? Had some canned air at the back of the cupboard, had gone bad, smelled moldy. Oh, interesting. You can get them, like, they're, you don't even have to order them from AliExpress. You can find them battery duster. So here, 60 bucks, 60 bucks. This one's 30 bucks. That's more like what I paid. 30 bucks. So yeah, pick your poison. 50 bucks. 40 bucks. Handheld vacuum. I want like this, but I don't want this nozzle. I want a round nozzle like this. But preferably, I want something that uses my Makita batteries so that I can just use them. Jesus Christ. Makita battery vacuum. Like this. I want this, but it seems big. I want it small. But yeah, I do want something like this. Like this. This has all the extensions. 75 bucks. Maybe after tax season. Oops. Back to here. Plenty of both. And the Zhao. And the... So wait, you're saying if I go look, the autocorrect up top goes theoretical. If I press enter, it does theoretical. I don't want that. And the Zhao and the, is it Super Mini? Which one has the battery support?
Super Mini.
And the Super Mini have battery support built right in. The bigger options. For most Arduino like projects, you can't really go wrong with an ESP32 S3 S3 board. Has a ton of compute, all the pins broken out, dual USB Type-C, pretty much the de facto standard if you want highly capable chip. But for your monster programs that need to do graphics processing and lots of calculations, the beast right now is the ESP-32, I think it's the H4. Having some ham for your lunch today as an Easter lunch. Not sure why we don't eat bunny at Easter. Because you couldn't catch him. You need to catch him first. So I think this is the H4. P4. So yeah, ESP-32 P4. This thing is a frickin' monster. Not a lot of pins, but a lot of interface. It has a P4 and it has a C6 on board. Oh. You don't prefer hair in your food? Wow. P4. However, the P4 does not have any built-in wireless capabilities. So make sure to grab a board that has an integrated ESP-32 C6 or C3 to handle wireless comms. Welcome back. Just saw a video on new Windows install walkthrough. How do you feel about showing Copilot your photo ID before Windows? I will, Jack, I will tell you, I will never show my ID to install a operating system. I will hack my way through it. I will generate an AI ID. I will do anything like that, or I'll install Linux, or I'll install an older service pack. Whatever I need to do, I am never showing my ID to an OS. Actually, here, let's see if we can... create image. I am helping a client set up their website delivering alcohol door to door, but they are federally regulated and need people to upload an image of their ID. The ID handling is done by a third party, but I need a placeholder ID image to A, test with, and B, show people where to upload their ID. Can you just make me a test ID for John Doe driver's license for New York State. Can't spell. Should look pretty real. But just put placeholder numbers so no one tries to use it as ID. There we go. What? Can't do it. Can't do it. Okay, let's try. ChatGPT is running out of money. So when you get Windows pre-installed, what happens is you go through a OOBE, which basically makes you go through the setup, the user setup. Exactly. Yeah, and then it'll ask you for it. But again, this is a American law, so far it won't affect Canada or Europe or anywhere like that. This is just Americans freaking out. But yeah, I'm telling you, I will never upload my ID. There we go. ChatGPT did it. What's C36? Bill C36. Sex work law? Is that what you're saying? Hate speech? Only 3 states right now, but they are making it across the board. I will tell you, I will never upload a an ID. I'll upload this one. I mean, I'll install Linux if I need to, or I'll just install an older service pack and then update later. Doesn't need to look like your OS doesn't know who you are. It doesn't need to look like you at all. Where was I? Here. Okay, so after sourcing boards, what do we got? Will Canadians have to show ID to install Windows? I'm curious now. Nope. Microsoft account. Yeah, still do this. Voluntary, not for OS. So far, no. So far, no. But anyways, laws are very easy to set in Canada. So they can simply go, yeah, we ain't doing that. Generally speaking, stuff passes easier in Canada than in the States. Okay, so we've got sourcing boards. Where are we at? Okay. Down menu, then we should be weary of charge only. Charge only USB cables. They lack the data pins needed for programming. They usually are the ones bundled with inexpensive devices. Always have one dedicated, trusted USB cable you can use to test out new processes. Once your board is plugged in and ready to use, you just select the type and the boards list and the COM port associated with it. My trick for the COM port, because it changes every board you plug in, more or less, is to check the available COM ports, then plug it in, and the new one that pops up is most likely your COM port. Some ESP32 boards, let's go most. Most ESP32 boards need to have a button pressed to button pressed while being plugged in order to get it into boot mode or programming mode. The easiest way to figure this out is to Google your specific board and how to enter bootloader mode. But most of the time, it's a matter of holding down the boot button while plugging it in and then releasing it. If a new window pops up, like a USB drive would, you're in good shape. There we go. All right, part 5. Because ESP32, so part 5, MAC addresses. So probably we'll finish after the MAC address here. So it'll be a 5-part video, hopefully 20 minutes or shorter, but people can jump through by using the chapters. ESP, because ESP now doesn't need a handshake in order to transmit or receive. It needs to know which boards are allowed to listen to the transmissions. This is done via MAC addresses, which are unique hex characters set at the factory. They do not change. What I recommend is to run a program provided in the description to extract the specific MAC address of the specific board you have, and then find a way to store that information permanently. I personally have a small spreadsheet with unique identifiers by boards and their MAC addresses, so that I can use them whenever I need. But you can write your MAC addresses directly onto the boards if you have space for it. So I'm going to end around 11, guys, so another 15 minutes. So we're almost done. Like, the first video is almost ready to be filmed, which is good. Probably tomorrow we'll film it. I don't know if you guys will be here because it's Easter Monday tomorrow. When's the actual, like, holiday? Is it Monday or Sunday? When did the dude res in lore? I don't know the story. When did the dude res on Easter? Was it Sunday? How's it going, Curtis? Are you working today? I hope not. It's Sunday, right? Friday and Monday are both holidays over here. Okay. Okay, so Friday he was murdered. Saturday, I mean, he was just dead. This is a nothing. Sunday he's up, discovered at dawn. On the third day, since Friday was counted as day 1 in the ancient inclusive way of tracking time, Sunday morning hits that 3-day mark perfectly. The respawn happened on Sunday. It's Sunday. Yeah, okay. My days mean nothing. By the way, Curtis, I applied to a whole shit ton of tech jobs. Waiting to hear back. How did your video do? The 145 views, is that good? I don't know if that's good for your channel. The voiceover wires seem to have their security compromised.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel.
I don't know either. There we go.
You can actually hear the transistors flip-flopping to hear it on the video.
I thought this was a nice gag. You haven't gotten around to watching them? Ah, okay. Soon.
Like so, you make
Why is
sure
this so
the
shit?
ends are aligned.
I thought this was a good gag, this part. I don't know if you guys agree.
I bet you didn't believe me. Let me know in the comments if you can hear it.
This part. That was, I went and I grabbed a, the sound from a Geiger counter, and then I boosted my crushed background audio by 30 dB. I felt bad that I did something crappy, basically.
Microphone, and we'll see if I boost the gain. You should be able to hear it on the video. Let me know in the comments if you can hear it. I bet you didn't.
It's funny because it's not even, it wasn't even the microphone I was using. It's my streaming microphone that you're hearing there, and I was recording with my other microphones. Oh, by the way, Curtis, Anant in stream, he challenged me to chop a string in half, and I did it. So here's the first half is this part, and the second half is this part, and I chopped it. So there we go. This was all off my own brain, just straight up. All right, let's get back to work here. We're almost done. Yep. So far it's char, not car. Char. I'll close it right before we end stream. At the same time, uploading this Mac address sketch will allow, let's see, program. I don't like sketch. Program will allow you to double check if your board, cable, IDE installation is working properly. And in order to actually see the MAC address, you will need to open the, what is it, serial monitor, serial monitor. Sketch is silly. Curtis, are you skilled in Control Shift M. Plus M. And set the baud rate to match. Are you skilled in Python? Is that... yeah, the word sketch. Yeah. It's a program. Are you like a adept in Python, or are you... What language do you usually code in? Serial monitor. Yeah, this is it. Good. You've done some work on it. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I agree, Gerald. I personally think that abstraction is very bad for beginners. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Part 6, data types. I think I said I would do data types in video 1, right? Yes, data types in video 1. Although ESP now is an amazing little tool that is available to use with no additional hardware, it doesn't really have as much abstraction. That is to say, it isn't very beginner friendly. When it comes to the actual data we need to send. Python's usually your go-to. Okay. Makers also always want nifty words called their stuff, hence sketch. You got to use nifty, yep. Yeah, I agree. I'm a big hater of abstractions in general. Like the Python way of doing things. When they teach you this for letter in my string, right? They don't tell you the examples. They're like for tree in trees, or they'll say for car in vehicles. No, actually they don't even do that. It's always car in cars, and you're like, what's going on? Is it like in my head, I'm like, is it because this word is plural, you can just use the singular form all the time? But what it is, it's actually for X in Y. It's these words don't mean anything, and they're really for, like, if singular for like let's say list item in your list. So I find like that level of abstraction is just not great. Yeah, but arrays, so arrays don't exist in Python. They do, but they're in an external library. So it's more like for list item in your list, or for dictionary item in your dictionary. So like if you're having a hard time learning, like if you're trying to learn what's going on and you're not told the difference, it's very difficult. Like if I go like this, class YouTuber, and then class YouTuber self, and then you go, oh, and then you go def init self channel subscribers, and then you go here, self dot channel equals channel, and then self dot subscribers equals subscribers. Okay, so you're trying to explain how coding works. Yeah, so, okay, so array is an overarching description of dictionaries, lists, and whatever. However, there are Python arrays in the PyMath lib. So there is something called array, but therefore you can't use array to describe, you know what I mean? It's complicated. So this is how you declare a class in Python. A class is, look, I'm not going to get into what a class is right now. This is how you build a constructor. Took me a long time to get your head wrapped around. Yeah, me too. Me too. But now I'm getting it. So when you make the class, when you instantiate the class, and instantiate it means you create an object based on the blueprint, which is the class. There's this self, okay? And they teach you self. But what they don't tell you is that this is just a, actually here, we'll go self channel, you whatever, it doesn't matter. What they don't tell you is self is, it's not a magic word. You can use orange, and then you go like orange dot channel and orange dot subscribers. This just means myself, like this class. That's all it means. But they don't tell you that. They tell you it's self, and I'm like, what the hell is self? So basically it means like this class's channel equals the channel that you sent in. That's kind of what it is. But they don't tell you that self is not, it's not syntax. Self is a placeholder. Self is you can use whatever you want. It's very confusing. And like these underscore methods, it's just stuff you have to learn. You just have to take for granted. You just have to you have to deal with it. So whenever you see this, it just means the class is being constructed. Did I do this wrong? Is it def init? Yeah, okay, sorry, def init. No dots there. It's strange. Yeah, no, I know. Object-oriented programming was what took me the most, what gave me the most hard time. But I would strongly recommend that you go over to boot.dev. You don't have to pay for it, but you could do the backend path. Oh, I am logged in. You idiot. I am logged in. I was like, oh, I'm not logged in. Yes, I am logged in. But I recommend you go here and you go do the backend path. And it's actually really good. What am I looking for? Profile? No. Dashboard? Yes, Jesus Christ. So this is what I was looking for earlier. So this course, one of the best, it does help that it's consistent, but that aspect needs correct. I agree. So this course, one of the best courses in the entire world. I would love to erase my brain and do this course over again. This is one of the best coding courses I have ever done. This was horrible. This was okay, but not very well explained. This was horrible. I still don't know how to use Git. And then this one, it took me quitting and then learning on my own for like months and then coming back, and I finally finished it. Now I'm going to do this one. So I've got 2 courses done in this. So if you go in here, see these 2 are red. It's because I've done them, but I've erased them. Gotta make sure they're erased. And this one too. Erased. So they're erased. I'm going to do these. And then I'm going to continue. So we're going to see how far I can get before my subscription expires, which will expire sometime in December, I think. But anyways, that'll be it for today. So we are almost done the outline. So next time we stream, we will be able to record this. So hope to see you next time. Hopefully that's tomorrow. Not 100% sure. Depends on my back's feeling, depends on my sleep's going. I did not sleep that well, so hopefully I sleep well tonight. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for being here, folks. Let me just close the poll. It is called Char, like Charmander. Happy Easter, everyone. Hopefully see you guys tomorrow.